Ladies and gentlemen, life is a brief happening. In this short time, the way we shape our mind, our emotions, and the people we surround ourselves with determines the very quality of our existence. A truly intelligent person understands that not everyone deserves a place in their inner circle. Without anger, without resentment, they simply distance themselves from two types of people: those who constantly drain their energy and those who pollute their mind. The first type are the ones who thrive on negativity. Have you seen such people? No matter what happens, they will always find something to complain about. If the sun is shining, they say it is too hot. If it rains, they say it is too wet. If life gives them an opportunity, they say it is too risky. They carry a storm cloud over their heads, pouring their negativity onto anyone who comes near. An intelligent person does not waste time trying to fix them. They simply walk away silently. The second type are those who manipulate and deceive. These are people who smile at you, but sharpen their knives behind your back. They use sweet words, but their intentions are always self-serving. They play with emotions not out of love, to gain something for themselves. A truly aware person sees through this. They do not argue. They do not fight. They just step aside and let such people fade out of their lives. You see, intelligence is not just about accumulating knowledge. It is about knowing where to invest your energy. If you surround yourself with negativity and deceit, you will unknowingly become like them. But if you cut them off, not in hatred, not in anger, but simply in clarity, your life will become lighter, freer, and more joyful. So look at the people around you. Ask yourself, are they lifting you up or pulling you down? Are they bringing clarity or confusion? If you find those who are draining your life energies, do not make a drama out of it. No need for confrontation. Just step aside, and in your silence, you will see your life transforming. Have you ever noticed that the quality of your life is not determined merely by what you do, but also by who you allow into your space? Life is a very brief happening. Blink. Yet, most people live as if they are here forever, entangling themselves with unnecessary drama, pointless conflicts, and toxic relationships. If you observe closely, the nature of your surroundings has a profound impact on your thoughts, emotions, and even your very perception of life. The people you spend time with, the words you hear, the energies you expose yourself to, all of these subtly shape your experience of living, whether you are conscious of it or not. Imagine walking into a room filled with laughter, enthusiasm, and excitement. Even if you were feeling dull a moment ago, something within you shifts and suddenly you feel lighter. Now, imagine walking into a space where people are constantly complaining, gossiping, and finding faults in everything. Even if you were in a joyful state earlier, it won't take long before you start feeling heavy and burdened. This is not magic. This is simply how human consciousness functions. We are deeply influenced by our surroundings, and if we are not careful, we start mirroring the energies around us. Have you seen how a small plant responds to the environment? If the soil is rich, the air is fresh, and there is sufficient sunlight, The plant flourishes effortlessly. But the soil is polluted, the air is toxic, and there is no sunlight. It withers away. In a way, human beings are not so different. The environment we create for ourselves, especially in terms of the people we interact with, determines whether we bloom or struggle. And yet, many people hold on to relationships, friendships, and connections that are suffocating their growth simply because they fear change or confrontation. This is where intelligence comes in. Intelligence is not just about solving problems or memorizing facts. True intelligence is the ability to see clearly what is nourishing you and what is draining you. It is about recognizing that your time, energy, and attention, if you are constantly surrounded by people who bring confusion, negativity, and deception into your life, you will spend all your energy managing chaos rather than progressing towards something meaningful. Have you ever tried filling a bucket with water when there is a hole at the bottom? No matter how much effort you put in, the water keeps leaking. Similarly, if you surround yourself with people who deplete you rather than uplift you, you will always feel exhausted and unfulfilled. But the problem is, most people are not aware of this. They think they can engage with everyone and remain unaffected. They assume that as long as they are good-hearted, they can transform even the most toxic individuals into positive beings. But this is an illusion. If you stand next to a fire, you will feel the heat. If you sit next to a person filled with hatred, some of that poison will inevitably seep into you. Intelligence is knowing that you do not need to test your resistance against negativity every day. You simply need to remove yourself from such situations. It is not about hating or rejecting anyone. It is about valuing your own mental and emotional well-being. Some people may say, but aren't we supposed to be kind and compassionate? Shouldn't we help those who are struggling with negativity? Absolutely. But kindness does not mean you must destroy yourself in the process. Compassion does not mean you must let someone pull you into their darkness. If someone is drowning, you can throw them a rope, but if you jump in without knowing how to swim, you will drown along with them. Intelligent people understand this difference. They do not engage in unnecessary conflicts. They do not try to fix those who do not want to change. And most importantly, they do not waste their energy where it is not valued. So if you truly want to elevate your life, do not just look at what you are doing, at who you are doing it with. Observe the people you engage with daily. Are they filling your mind with clarity, enthusiasm, and purpose? Or are they leaving you confused, drained, and demotivated? Are they lifting you up, or are they pulling you down? If you surround yourself with people who are moving toward a higher possibility, you too will naturally be drawn in that direction. But if you allow yourself to be entangled with those who thrive on complaints, deception, and negativity, your progress will be a constant struggle. Life is not just about how much time we have. It is about how we use our energy. Every day, from the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, your energy is being spent on thoughts, emotions, actions, and interactions. But have you noticed that some people leave you feeling uplifted, and refreshed, while others leave you exhausted, even if you haven't done any physical labor. This is not about good or bad people. This is about the nature of energy. Some individuals naturally radiate positivity, clarity, and enthusiasm, while others thrive on constant drama, negativity, and self-pity. If you are intelligent, you will not waste your life fighting unnecessary battles with such people. You will simply step away. Look at a river. It flows effortlessly, carving its path around obstacles. It does not stop and argue with a rock in its way. It simply finds another way forward. But most people, instead of moving forward, spend their lives trying to convince the wrong people to change. They pour their time and emotions into those who only drain them in return. They try to reason with those who refuse to listen. They try to uplift those who do not wish to rise. And they try to heal those who are committed to staying wounded. This is not compassion. This a misuse of one's energy. An intelligent person does not engage in such futility. Have you seen how some people always have a problem for every solution? You give them advice, they say yes, but yeah, they say that won't work. They are not looking for solutions. They are looking for validation of their suffering. If you engage with such people long enough, you will notice something strange. You start to feel drained, as if your own energy is being sucked away. This is because their presence is like a black hole. No matter how much light you bring, it disappears into the darkness. And if you do not step away in time, you too will become entangled in their cycle of misery. An intelligent person understands that their inner well-being is their responsibility, inner well-being. They do not allow themselves to be hijacked by someone else's negativity. They do not engage in endless debates with those who refuse to see reason. They do not waste time trying to fix people who are not ready to change. Instead, they silently withdraw their energy and attention without resentment, without conflict, just a quiet exit. This is not an act of... Because when you stop pouring your energy into the wrong places, you suddenly find that you have more time, more clarity, and more enthusiasm for the things that truly matter. Some people may say, isn't it our duty to help others? Of course, if someone genuinely wants to change, you can guide them. But understand this, help can only be given to those who are willing to receive it. If you try to wake up someone who is pretending to sleep, no matter how hard you shake them, they will not wake up. Similarly, if a person enjoys their own suffering, you cannot force them out of it. You can only step aside and allow life to be their teachers. Sometimes, silence is the greatest lesson you can offer. Many people struggle with this idea because they feel guilty about cutting off those who drain them. But let's be clear, distancing yourself from negativity does not mean you hate or reject anyone. It simply means you recognize what is good for your own growth. If you want to nurture a garden, you must remove the weeds. Not because you despise them, but because if you let them grow unchecked, They will take away the nourishment from the flowers. The same is true for your life. If you wish to flourish, you must be mindful of what and who you allow into your space. So, take a moment to reflect. Where is your energy going? Are you pouring it into relationships that enrich your life, or are you wasting it on those who constantly drain you? Drain. If you want to live fully, you must learn the art of silent distancing, not out of anger, not out of arrogance, but out of a deep understanding that your energy is precious and it should not be squandered where it is not valued. Have you ever met someone who always seems to find a problem in every situation? No matter what happens, they have something negative to say. If the sun is shining, they complain that it is too hot. If it rains, they say it is too wet. If life gives them an opportunity, they will point out all the reasons why it might fail. These are the people who carry a dark cloud over their heads, and wherever they go, they bring the storm with them. They do not seek solutions, they only seek more reasons to justify their misery. If you are intelligent, you will not waste your energy trying to brighten their world. You will simply walk away. Negativity is not just an emotion, it is a way of life for some people. If you spend enough time with them, you will notice how they drain your energy. They always focus on what is wrong, never on what is right. Their words are filled with complaints, doubts, and fears. They do not look for possibilities, they look for excuses. Even when good things happen, they will find a way to turn them into problems. Such people are not just unhappy themselves, they make sure that those around them become unhappy too. And if you are not careful, their negativity will slowly start seeping into you. Have you ever had a conversation with someone and walked away feeling completely exhausted? Not because the discussion was deep or meaningful, but simply because they kept complaining, criticizing, and focusing on everything that is wrong in life. This is how negativity works. It drains you, even if you are not the one being negative. It pulls you into a cycle where you start seeing the world through the same dark lens. Before you know it, you too begin doubting yourself, complaining about life, and finding faults where none exist. This is why intelligent people do not allow themselves to be caught in such a trap. Now, you may ask, but shouldn't we be compassionate and help them? Yes, of course. If someone is struggling and genuinely wants to change, you can guide them. But you cannot help someone who is committed to their misery. If a person does not want to come out of the darkness, no amount of light will make a difference. They will only close their eyes tighter, and if you keep trying to convince them, you will only exhaust yourself in the process. Wisdom is knowing when to step back. Some people believe that cutting off negative individuals is an act of selfishness. But tell me, if you are carrying a heavy bag of stones on your shoulders and someone keeps adding more and more weight, at what point will you drop it? If you do not, it will eventually crush you. The same is true for negativity. You cannot carry other people's misery forever. If someone chooses to remain in darkness, that is their choice. You have a choice too. You can choose not to be pulled down with them. Negativity is contagious. It spreads faster than any disease. If you allow yourself to be surrounded by people who constantly complain, soon you will find yourself doing the same. It may start with small things, a little irritation here, a small complaint there. But over time, it becomes a habit. Before you realize it, self is difficult because yoke is possible. Once that happens, life becomes a struggle, not because life itself is difficult, but because your perception has been distorted. So ask yourself, who are the people you interact with daily? Do they bring clarity and positivity, or do they drown you in complaints and negativity? Do they encourage you to move forward, or do they hold you back with endless doubts and fears? If you find yourself surrounded by those who always focus on the worst, be intelligent. Do not argue with them. Do not try to change them. Simply step aside, and you will see how much lighter your life becomes. In life, there are people who do not approach you with love, but with an agenda. They speak sweet words, they make grand promises, and they present themselves as your well-wishers. But behind this pleasant facade, there is a hidden motive. They are here to take, not to give. They're not to give. These are the manipulators, the deceivers, the ones who see relationships not as a bond, but as a tool for their personal benefit. An intelligent person recognizes that people and silently distances themselves before they get entangled in their webs are not always obvious. They do not walk around announcing their intentions. Instead, they operate subtly, influencing your thoughts and decisions without you even realizing it. They may appear to be helping you, but in reality, they are only helping themselves. They know how to play with emotions, how to create situations where you feel guilty if you do not comply with their wishes. Have you ever felt pressured into doing something you did not want to do? Just because someone made you feel obligated. That is how manipulators work. They make you believe that you owe them something, even when you do not. When you are constantly defending yourself, constantly explaining, constantly justifying your words and actions, you have already lost. Because now, instead of focusing on your growth, your energy is being spent on their distraction. Have you noticed how some people can never have simple, calm conversation? Even in the most ordinary situations, they will find a way to turn it into an argument or a dramatic event. They use their emotions as weapons: anger, sadness, guilt, all to keep you engaged, to keep you reacting. And once they succeed in getting a reaction from you, they know they have won. Because now your peace is disturbed. Now your energy is flowing toward them instead of toward something meaningful. An intelligent person understands that mental clarity is more valuable than gold. They do not waste their time debating with those who have no interest in solution. They do not allow themselves to be drawn into the endless cycle of arguments and emotional manipulation. Not because they are weak, but because they know their energy is precious and it should not be wasted on those who do not value peace. Some people may say, But shouldn't we try to resolve conflicts? Yes, of course, when there is a real misunderstanding. But understand this. Some people do not seek resolution, they seek attention. They do not want peace, they want control. And if you keep engaging, you will find yourself in a battle that never ends, where every step forward is met with another unnecessary complication. The only way to win is to not play the game. The only way to keep your peace is to step away from those who constantly disrupt it. So, take a moment to observe your life. Are there people who leave you feeling mentally drained after every conversation? Are there those who constantly create tension even when there is no real issue? If so, be intelligent. Do not argue. Do not fight. Do not try to change them. Simply walk away. Because once you remove such people from your life, you will realize just how much clarity, peace, and joy you were missing. Ladies and gentlemen, life is too short to be spent in unnecessary battles. If you allow every manipulator, every toxic individual, and every energy drainer to occupy your space, you will never have the clarity to live life fully. An intelligent person does not need to announce their decisions, nor do they need to seek permission to walk away. They simply choose peace over conflict, wisdom over drama, and self-respect over unnecessary obligations. You are not here to fix people who refuse to change. You are not here to convince those who have already decided to misunderstand you. You are not here to carry burdens that are not yours to bear. Your responsibility is to yourself, to nurture your well-being, to protect your peace, and to use your energy in ways that bring growth and fulfillment. So observe your life carefully. If someone is constantly disrupting your peace, if someone is always pulling you into negativity, when you remove such people from your life, you will find that clarity comes effortlessly, joy arises naturally, and every moment feels lighter. This is not selfishness. This is intelligence. Because only when you are free from unnecessary burdens can you truly give your best to the people and things that matter. Only when your mind is clear can you live with a deep sense of fulfillment. And only when you cut off what no longer serves, you embrace the life that is meant for you.